Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Apologize for the little delay. We had a little room and technical issues here. My name is Laura, so welcome to this training. This afternoon, we will talk about Gmail, contacts, calendar, and Hangouts. We will start now. I will share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Don't hesitate to do the same on your own. You can do the exercise as I'm talking and explaining things. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can just ask them in the chat and I will answer them. Okay, let's get started. I will share my screen. Okay, share. Oh, okay. So, all right, we are here. Click on our Gmail training session. So if we start with the global layout, you have on the top left here the logo, Gmail, to say that, well, you're on the Gmail app. You have here the main menu. You can click up to have the left menu appear and disappear. In the middle, you have the search bar. We'll go back to it a bit later, but this is a very, very powerful tool. It's going to allow you to search emails in the recipients field, in the object, in the email, and also in the attached files. We'll get back to it a bit later. Here on the right, you have, the logo of your company. So it's a great way to see if you are on your personal or professional account. If it's your professional account, you will have the Echo Training logo. Here you have the launcher, Google Apps. If you click here, you're going to have access to all the Google Apps. So obviously Gmail, Drive, Calendar, Docs, Sheets, Slides, and contacts. We're going to talk about contacts and calendar, chat, meet, and if you go a bit down, Hangouts. Okay. On the left, you have here the main button, Compose. If you click here, it's going to allow you to compose a new message, right? In the middle, you have your main inbox. You can actually decide if you want to let it that way or if you want to have several inboxes. For example, if you click here on settings, so you have a little gear wheel settings, you have the possibility to amend the density of your emails. So this is a classic, the default view. So you will have, the recipients here, the email, and you're going to have a clear view of the attached files. Sorry, comfortable is going to allow you to, reduce a bit. You will have the possibility to show more emails per page. Your attached files will be represented here by this little icon. And compact is, well, if you have good eyes and you don't mind having a lot of emails in your page. Okay, we're going to keep with default because I like it. Up, mask. Um, Other thing is that you can actually configure your inbox. So if you click again on the settings, configure inbox, you can select tabs. So this is your primary inbox. This is your main inbox, let's say. By default, this is this one. All your emails are going to be sent in this one. But you can also decide, for example, if you receive a lot of notifications from YouTube, Google Plus, dating sites, if you want, Facebook, this type of thing, you can decide to put them in a specific email box. Same for, promotion, offers, ads, this type of thing. Updates, for example, if you are part of a company group and you receive a lot of emails, for example, from, I don't know, HR, if you have, this type of thing, you can decide to separate them from your main inbox, which is kind of useful. So yeah, for example, if you click on promotions, up, save, it's going to look like this. You will have your primary inbox here, but also promotions, which is now empty. Okay, I'm going to go back to just having the primary inbox. Save, click. Okay. On your left, you have by default this view. So you have your inbox. If you click here, you go back to this main screen. Steered. We're going to go back in details for each box. Steered. Very quickly, this is how you decide to mark some emails as important. Snoozed, if you want to, for example, say, okay, I'm going to reply to this email in 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour tomorrow. Your sent email boxes, okay. And below, okay, some people have already done some tests. You have all your labels, so we're going to go back to it. And if you click on more, you have important emails, chats, drafts, all mail, spam, bin, etc., etc. My recommendation is actually to get the drafts and if you can, apply. You just click, drag, and boom, drop. Do that for all mails as well. Up, spam, same. Up, and bin. Okay, by default, you have the little chat box here. We will see a bit later how to actually move this from, from the left on the right, because the thing is that when you have your chat box here, you need to scroll and scroll and scroll to get access to your labels. So here we only have 4 labels, which is okay, but when you start to get 20, 30 labels, maybe, it's going to be very unpractical. We're going to see that a bit later. On the right here, you have the little widget. So you have a very easy access to your calendar. If you click here, up, you will be able to see, okay, all the Polish invites already. So it gives you a very quick overview what you have to do. Up, keep. So it's like having some post-its. We're going to get back to it again a bit later. And your tasks. It's a difficult word to say in English. So you will be able to add a task like to reply to this specific email and be able to put dates, and you will get a little reminder. This is very useful. I use that a lot personally. Up, okay. So what is Gmail? Well, I'm not going to teach you anything, but obviously this is a tool to receive and send emails. How do you send an email? Well, you click on this, compose. Up. So you have this new tab. You have 2 options if you're not happy with this, because what's going to happen if you decide to type and create several emails at the same time? Well, new, 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 new. Okay, so you will get just drown in all these tabs. You can see that they appear here. New message, new message, new message. This is a nightmare. I'm going to get rid of everything. So my recommendation is that if you maintain on your keyboard Control and you click on Compose, it's going to open a new tab. So you're going to have a lot of space, which is nice. And if you maintain Shift on your keyboard and then you click on it, left click, obviously, it's going to open a new window, which is cool too. So it's kind of nice if you work, for example, on several screens. If you are working on 2 emails at the same time, if you want to copy from one email to another one, it can get very useful. Okay, let's compose an email. So you have this tab, all right. So here you have several fields. You have the field to, subject, and the main email. So for example, I'm going to write an email to my other account, my professional account. Okay, I am here already. Laura Testu at Devot in the Cloud. Clack. I'm going to send an email to someone in the company at ecole.com. If you click on to, you can see that you can select contacts directly. So it's going to open you a new tab, and you're going to have access to your contacts within the company, within the ecole.com domain, which is very nice. For example, if I type Evo, okay, enter, I can find here many people. So for example, I select her. She was my student the other day. Okay, insert, right? And you can see that you have the two people in this field. If you click on CC, you can create, it had the field for copied people in copy, BCC, okay, hidden copy. Something extremely important. Can you notice the difference between Ebru and Laura? Well, this is quite obvious, but Ebru is circled by a gray line, while Laura is actually in yellow. What does it mean? It means that all the people within your domain name, so ecole.com, are going to be in gray, and everybody outside your domain is actually in yellow. So this is extremely efficient. Extremely efficient if you want to see, at once who is part of your domain and who's not. Okay, I'm going to get to not to annoy Ebru up. Something extremely useful too before I move on. For example, okay, I'm going to add it again. You type your email, you insert your contacts. You have the possibility to create a group of contacts directly from Gmail. You don't need to go in contacts to create a group of people. So you insert as many people as you want. So here we have two people. We have Laura and we have Ebru. You click on two. And here you can find again Laura, you can find again Ebru. You can save as a group. So for example, group one, in English it's better. Save, clack. So the group is now saved. So what's going to happen? Up. If I get rid of Ebru, Laura, and I call back this group here, I can see that Ebru and Laura, well, are coming back to the email. I think it's cool. I think it's very easy, and it's a very easy and quick way to manage your groups. Just a thing to know is that it's different from the company groups. All your groups you create are actually your groups in your contacts. Other people don't have access to your groups. It's very personal. It's your personal list. Okay. I don't want to annoy her. Subject, obviously the subject of your email. So it's kind of obvious for a lot of people, but we keep repeating that during training sessions. It's very important to add a subject to your email. For example, if you receive a lot of requests from your coworkers or from clients, if you get a request and the title, the subject is just new request, it's just not obvious at all. So what we recommend as best practice is to actually always add what your email is about. For example, if I have to give an online training session, I'm going to put, online training session, 23rd of January, for example. Okay. So if you click in the middle, you have your signature here. Up. And you can just, decide to type hello. Hola, it's in green. Okay. We're going to see then how you can, set this up automatically. So here someone made some tests already and decided that all your messages would be in green, sorry. So hello, how are you? Up. So if you click here, formatting options, you can close and open them. You can actually decide if you want to change the font. For example, because I like sans serif, I'm going to put sans serif. You can decide the size if you want normal, large, huge. Okay, who are you? Because I'm yelling at someone, I don't know. Bold, italic, if you want to underline, if you want to change the color because I like red. Well, you can decide if you want up to put it in the middle, if you want to add, lists, bullet points, and so on and so on. one cool thing is that you have more formatting options here. You can decide to actually remove all the formatting you've done. For example, if I select everything up and then I click remove formatting, everything goes back to normal. Okay, no bold, no italic, no funky fonts, no whatsoever. So for example, if you spend 1 hour on your email adding colors and so on, and then you're like, I'm not sure. Maybe I just want, classic black um, font. Okay, this is the option that you need. All right. I'm just going to have a look if we have some questions on the chat. Up. Okay, no questions. Not that screen, that one. Oh, I can hear myself. It's annoying. Hopla, better. Okay. So you can also attach a file just clicking here. So it's very classic where, it open the tab. You can select what you want. For example, this picture. I don't know why, but I like that one. And you just click on open and it's going to add you a file. It's very classic. It's like in Lotus or Outlook. It's very classic. Something to note is that you are actually limited to 25 mega octet. So it's important to keep in mind that you can be limited by the size of your inbox on your side, but also on the other side, in the recipient inbox. This is why we actually recommend to use the Drive option. Because if you follow the logic of Google, the real place of your file is not in the email, it's in the Drive. And then you're going to be able to send a direct link to your Drive. It's like a shortcut, basically. So the file is not attached to the mail, but you insert a link that is going to redirect the people you send the email to your Drive, and you're going to grant them permission to view or to comment or to amend the file, which is so much better. So let's get rid of that one. Whoop, click here. If you click here, okay, insert files using Drive. Okay, you click, and then you have the option to show all the files that you want to share. For example, welcome to Google Drive. Okay, let's getting started. So you have the possibility to add it as a link. So this is what I was talking about, but also as an attachment. For example, if you are sending, I don't know, a price list to someone and you don't want this person to have access to your Drive, you just want the person to have the price list as an attachment, you can just decide to it's an attachment. So the person is not going to receive a link to your Drive, the person is going to receive a PDF, as you can see here. Drive, link, insert, boom. And the good thing is that, okay, you can actually decide who you want to put the link. So here, it's at the bottom, but you could also, okay, let's get rid of this. Clack, you could also decide to put it in the middle. Up. Let's select this again, insert. And, clack, 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 clack. Type in your email. For example, you could say, please see below the direct link to the getting started PDF. Okay, thanks. The S is better. All right. Okay, well, very basic. You can also decide to insert emoji and insert a photo. So the photo is like a link, and it's going to be part of your email. It's not going to be an attachment. So for example, if I want to insert a photo below, thanks. You click. You can choose a photo, or you could drag and drop a picture here. Choose photo to upload. I want to insert that one. Okay, open. Apologize, it's in French. And then It's here. And it's part of the email. It's not an attachment. Yeah, so you can, best fit, select best fit. If you want the original size, if you want to remove it, you can select it like this. Well, you choose your choice. Okay, something interesting. I don't know if you noticed, but as I was typing, you could see here saved or not. So what does it mean? For example, I am typing, okay? So nothing shows, blah, 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 blah. I stop. Saved. If you have good eyes, you could see that it was saving and then saved. What does it mean? It means that all the emails you are typing are actually saved as drafts. This is something extremely important. It means that, for example, if I decide or if I misclick, because it can happen, up, misclick. Where is my email? Okay, no worries. If you go back to drafts, up, I can see that here, that was the email I was typing. So I just have to click and going to open again. How cool is that? I don't know about you, but it happened to me so many times that I was just typing an email and then, I don't know, the computer shut down or whatever, and I just lost what I was doing, which is super annoying. So this is not going to happen with Gmail, actually. Okay, thanks, Chad doesn't want to. Okay, whatsoever. Okay, you can obviously discard your draft, not advised. If you click here on the More Options button, you're going to open a new menu. You can actually decide to preset automatic response. For example, if you receive very classic emails like, can you get this done, or could you please do this, do that, and you don't have the time to do that now, and you just want to send something like, yeah, okay, well received, I'm going to take care of this tomorrow, blah, 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 whatever. This is where you can actually set this up. So you have to select your email. Okay, so everything is selected. You click on More Options, Canned Responses, and you have here Save, New Canned Response. So this save, insert, delete, they are not buttons, right? If you want to save, you go to New Canned Response. So now please enter a new canned response name. I'm going to keep that one. Keep in mind that the canned response is going to include the object of your email. So it's cool to keep the same. Okay. Path. So now if I create a new email, I go back to More Options, Canned Responses. I can see that here I have my online training session response. So if I click here, up, I have the same. And it's going to keep the title, the object, and I'm going to be free to add new recipients if I want. I'm going to discard that one. Okay. Okay, let's send that email. So you obviously have to click on send. So here you have this little message send, undo, view message. This is like a security. Before the email is actually sent, you're going to be able to set up a 5, 10, 20, or 30 seconds delay. This is great, for example, if you notice at the very last minute that you forgot an attachment, or you forgot a drive link, or you forgot someone in the list, in the group of contacts. You will be able to undo this. So the email is going to get back to your draft inbox. You're going to be able to open it again, amend it, and send it back. It's a security. Something else that we say during training sessions is that it's not here to, for example, you receive a very annoying email and you want to reply right away because you are so annoyed and everything. It's not made for this. If you receive a very annoying email, just take a 5-minute break, have a coffee, have a cigarette, whatsoever, and get back to your email a bit later. It can be obvious for a lot of people, but we keep saying that because so many people just reply to emails that way. So it's not cool. It's just not cool. And when it's in the written format, it's very easy to misunderstand each other. So let's take some time before we reply to email, shall we? Okay. So that was, oops, hopla, the basics. Okay. Let's get rid of this chat box here a bit later because it's annoying. Okay. So if I go back to my inbox, I can see that someone sent an email already, right? So up inbox. Here, what can we notice? We can notice that you can see here the recipient. No, sorry, the sender, not the recipient. We are the recipient, the sender, okay. The label here, someone created a label named test123. You can see the object here. And here, if you see, you have this, overlook of actions that you can do very quickly. So you can decide to archive it, to delete it, to mark as an unread, or to snooze it. Archive, this is something very important. What does it mean? If you are used to work on Outlook or Lotus, if you want to archive an email, it means that you're going to put this email on a server in a very, very far away, remote place. With Gmail, archive means that you actually displace this email from your inbox to all mail. So you have always access to all your emails at all time. I'm going to try this up. If I click on this email 123 and here I click on archive up, you can see that the conversation is not archived. If I go to, so the inbox is empty, right? So if I click on all mail, this is why I want you to just drop this all mail inbox on the top. You can see that all these emails are already archived, right? So clack, clack, clack. You can see all the emails that you sent and all the emails you received. So this one is the one I just put in the, but I just removed from the inbox. So if I click here again, I can decide to add it again to the inbox. Okay. Move to inbox. Up. Okay, starred. What does it mean? If you want to mark some emails as important, you can actually click and give them a star. So by default, you're going to have one option, which is a yellow star, but we're going to see that a bit later, but you will have the opportunity to add other types of icons. So to mark an email as starred, let's say you just click on the star. So at the moment it's not starred, and now it's starred. So if you go back to this inbox, you're going to see all the emails that you marked as starred in comparison to all your email and your inbox. Snoozed. If you receive an email and you don't want to answer it right away because, for example, it's like, can you send me this for tomorrow morning, for example, you have the option to snooze it. So if you go on the email, you can do it inside too. If you click here, but you can do it very quickly from here. Clack, 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 you can snooze it. And then you can choose if you want to choose later today, tomorrow, this weekend, next week. You can also select the date and time. So, for example, I want to snooze it for today at up at 2 p.m. Ciao. Save. Okay. So the conversation is now snoozed. So it disappears from your inbox and goes to the snoozed inbox. So what's going to happen? See, here you have a little up, just here, you have a little, you have the time. And when the time is going to be, when it's going to be time, you're going to have a little message in yellow, like, hey, you snoozed that email. Do you want to reply it right now? Yes, no, thanks, bye. You decide. You can, create another snooze if you want. Sent, okay, all your sent emails, obviously. Drafts, so we talked about it already. When you type an email and it's saved, until it's sent, all your drafts will be here. They stay here actually. So now, for example, if you say, okay, all the drafts from the 16th of January, bam. Okay, you can delete them. Delete. Okay. Discard. Okay, the main button, I couldn't see it. Great. Okay, deleted from free conversations. Good. All emails, again. Spam. Hop Okay, you can see here that all the spam will be automatically deleted in 30 days. What we recommend you is actually to have a look quite regularly to your spam box because sometimes you're going to receive emails that are not exactly spam. For example, when I started in at Devoteam Cloud, I used to receive emails from a specific person in the company marked as spam. I don't know why, but it was the case. So the system is quite intelligent. If you receive an email that you don't consider spam, you can select it, mark as not spam, and the algorithm is actually going to recognize that, okay, it's not spam. So for all the future emails, you're going to receive them in your inbox and not in your spam box. So as the spam is actually deleted within 30 days, we recommend you to have a look quite regularly just to make sure, that you have nothing going on here important that you might miss. Bin. Okay, same. Everything that is in your bin is going to be deleted for the next 30 days. So you cannot use this box as, a temp box. You cannot put things here and be like, oh, I'll go back to it later. No, you can't. Everything will be deleted. So don't use this box as something temporary. If you want to use something as temporary, use your drafts box. So below, you can see that some people already made some tests, which is good. You have the labels. Okay. Um, this is one of the main features of Gmail compared with Outlook or Lotus, is that you have the possibility to mark your emails with labels. So if you are used to social media like Twitter, Instagram, you are familiar with the system of hashtags. It works kind of the same. Very classically, we are used to sort our emails in folders. So you couldn't be you weren't able to put one email in this folder and then this other folder, right? You could put one email in one folder and that's it. If you wanted to put one email in two folders, you would need to create a copy, right? Which is not cool because you're going to double the amount of space you need in your inbox. So now you actually have the opportunity to tag, to label your emails. So visually, it's a bit like folders, but you can actually label one email with two labels. We're going to see how it works. For example, okay, I have this non-new email. No. Okay. I'm going to remove the snooze and snooze and snooze. Okay, so the email is back in my mailbox. So I want to apply the label to this email, factory, as well as test 123, which is already the case. So you have two options to tag, to label an email. First option, you select an email. So you could select several ones, right? And here you have the labels icon. So you click and you can decide, yeah, okay, I'm going to add factory, but also test, all right? And then I just have to apply. So what's happening? You can see all the labels here: factory, test 123. So your emails is actually in your inbox. So you have one email, only one email. But if you click on this factory label here, you're going to have this email again. And if you click on test 123, up, you're going to have this email again. So your email is in your inbox, in your own email box too. It's here, okay? But because it's labeled, you will be able to find it again in the factory box and in the test 1, 2, 3 box. You could also find it in the test box. Okay, it's here, right? So the idea is not that you have to sort like in drawers your emails. Now you can actually just look for them. For example, if I go back here to the search bar, right, and I want to find all the emails that have been labeled as factory. So all I have to do is, okay, it's already here, type factory in Polish. See? So you have as well the little command, the little function, label factory. Okay, so I only have one, but this email has been labeled as factory. I could have several ones, right? It's just that this is the test inbox. So if I click here, I can see, yeah, okay, it has the label factory and I can find it here in factory. Up. Okay. Something nice is that you can actually change the color of your labels. For example, here you can see that it's in gray, yellow, gray. Okay, if you want to change the color, you can just you go here to the little dots and then you can change the label color. So for example, I want to add the green color because I like green. Okay, so factory is then green. Test is in yellow. Test 1, 2, 3, I want to add the red color because I like red. Okay, so it's not only because you like green or red, right? It's you can actually decide how you want to sort your labels. For example, I have a colleague that is using this combination for all the projects that are ongoing, for the projects that are done, and for everything that is has to be done. So this is just an idea how you could use the labels. Um, for example, you could also, this is what I'm doing on my professional account. I tag label all emails per project. For example, I have one label which is called Echo, for example, that is in blue. So all the emails that I receive, I can then just label them Echo. And yeah, so then all I have to do is tap here, Echo, clack, clack. Okay, I'm not going to find a lot of things, but yeah, and then I have all the emails. The search bar is actually extremely powerful because it allows you, as you can see, to look um, in the objects field, but also in the recipients, but also in the main email here, and also inside the attachments uh, and link. This is extremely powerful. This is an extremely powerful tool. Something to remember is that Gmail is actually okay made by Google, and Google, what is Google? Well, it used to be a search tool, right? So they have the technology to do that. Okay. Up. Okay, inbox. That was the first option to add a label. You could also just enter an email and then click here, labels, add the label, right? You can just create new one here very easily, or you can go down, up, click on more, and then create new label. You can create a new label, for example, training, okay, exclamation mark. Ooh, create, up, and up. Training is now here. I want to change the color. I want to put it in blue, right? Something interesting too is that you can move directly from your inbox to a label without, having to do it in two steps. You can do it with one steps. For example, okay, you can do it from here. You can select and then click on Move to, but you could also enter the email and click on Move to. So if now I click on Move to, and select training, it's going to add the label training and it's going to remove the label inbox because here you can see it's a label like factory test. It's a label. So if I click on training, up, it disappeared from my inbox and it's now in factory. Okay, as we saw a bit earlier, test 1, 2, 3, but also in training. So it's a very, very easy way to sort your emails. We're going to see a bit later how you can actually decide, for example, if you want to make sure that all the emails of this specific person um, is going to a specific inbox, you can do that too. Okay. If you have any questions about labels, now is the time. I'm going to check if we have any questions on the chat. Chat. Not that one here. Clear control, we're leaving to. So you have two huge problem. How do you plan to train in via mobile phones if you're on YouTube? 5 people watching now. People don't have access to this link? We can't join, we can't follow. What's going on? Okay. Seems like we have a little technical issue. This is annoying. Okay. This is recorded anyway, so people will be able to access the training a bit later if necessary. Okay. Okay. Something else that is extremely interesting compared with Outlook and so on is that you can now, okay, let's just put that email back or mail. Move to inbox, okay. Okay, so I'm going to reply from my professional inbox, Laura Testu. I'm going to show you something extremely interesting. Up. So if I go back here, black, here, okay. I reply, up, hello, and okay. Okay. So how do you reply to an email? Something important, okay? You enter the email, okay? You can see here on the right that you can have the possibility to reply with this icon. You also have it if you click on more, reply and forward. You could also reply to all if you had several people, but it's only 2 of us, training 1 and Laura Testu. So 2 people, you can only reply. So you click on reply. So it's going to open a new box. From here, where you can type whatsoever. You can decide to forward, to edit the subject. Click. If you want to, for example, add something like, I don't know, this, up, send, message sent. Oh yeah, something also important is that if you have some troubles, you don't seem to receive emails or whatsoever. If you press F5, it's going to refresh the page. So the page is refreshed automatically, but it's it's easier, it's quicker if you click on F5. Okay, let's wait a bit until I receive the other email. Okay, it takes a bit longer than expected. It's okay. Um, okay. Let's see in the old mail box. Okay, let's take this example, for example. This example, for example, yes, sure. Uh, that one is good. Okay, that one. You can see that you have a conversation between Gmail and me. Great. Okay. Tips for using your new inbox. Here, the two, it indicates the amount of emails in a conversation. What is a conversation? It's like a thread of emails that are grouped in the same thread as long as they have the same object. For example, if I click here, tips for using your Gmail account, new inbox, sorry, you can see that I received the first email from the Gmail team, okay, and then I reply, Salut. Okay, on Wednesday, 7 days ago. So as long as you have several emails going to create a conversation. So what's important to notice is that the most recent email is at the bottom. It's like on WhatsApp. It's like on your mobile. The latest message is at the bottom. So it's a bit different from your, for example, Outlook inbox. So what is the advantage of this is that instead of having two emails here, okay, I only have one here. I have only one line with two emails. So I can decide to expand everything. So I get the full message from Gmail and then the full message that sends back. And I can also decide to collapse everything. So if you start to get 5, 10, 20, I don't know, 100, okay, maybe not 100 messages um, per conversation, it's extremely useful. For example, you go on holidays or you are off for a few days because you have other things to do in the field, and you come back and you can see that you have 60 emails or 100 whatsoever. Instead of having to go through every single email, you can just open the conversation and scroll up or down. You can decide to expand everything and you just have to read and you don't have to go through every single email, look for them in your inbox. It's going to save you a considerable amount of time, believe me. I highly recommend you to try this at least 2 weeks to see how it works for you, how you can get used to it. If it doesn't work, yes, well, you can just you will see a bit later um, how you can change this and go back to the classic email thing. But this is something extremely useful that we recommend you to use at least 2 weeks. Okay, apparently the YouTube link works. It's perfect. Okay, great. Okay. So I think that we had a good look already of everything here. Let's move to the settings, right? So here, if you click on settings, it's going to open this little drop-down menu. So we saw already display density, configure inbox, and then you have the settings, right? So if you click here, a new window opens, and you're going to have general labels, inbox accounts, etc., etc. So let's start with the general settings. You can do that at the same time on your own and see how you want to set up your own inbox. So first thing first, obviously the language. The Ecologistics default language is English, but obviously if you are Turkish and you want to put it in Turkish, you can decide to put it in Turkish. You can decide to put it in Viet. You can decide to put it in Portuguese, Polish, in French, whatsoever, in German. You decide. Okay, phone numbers. Default country code is France because we made some tests the other day. But same, you can decide, if you are living in Turkey, if you are living in France, if you are living in Germany, in the UK, you can here decide um, up maximum page size um, is going to show you the amount of emails. It's going to show you this amount of email max per page. So 100 is quite a lot actually. 25, 50 is good. We don't have a lot of emails here, but I think that 50 is good. The thing is that I remember one student the other day who asked me, is it possible to have all the emails on one, at once on one page? And obviously the answer is no. Why? Because this is a cloud native solution. Your emails are not on your laptop. They are not on your email, on your mobile. You cannot access everything at the same time. Otherwise, it's going to take ages for you to charge the page. This is why also we recommend to put 25, 50. It's going to lower the time you would need to load the page. Up image, okay. Always display external images, ask before displaying anything. Something that you need to know is that all the emails that you receive are already going through a filter. So basically the risk that you get some kind of virus with your images is quite low. So you can just, keep that one, always display external images. The undo send. This is what we saw a bit earlier. So this is what I was talking about. You can decide to wait for 5, 10, 20, 30 seconds before your email is actually sent. For example, if you select 20 seconds, from the moment you click on send, Gmail is going to put this email on hold for 20 seconds. So again, this is a way to make sure that you got everyone in your contacts, that you didn't forget to add, I don't know, attachments or a link or whatsoever. Again, it's not here, just um, to type your rage email and send it. It's not made for this. 30 seconds, it's quite long. 20 is good, 10 is good, 5 is a bit short, by the time you realize that you forget something. 10, 20, it's good, it's good. You see, your choice. You're in May. Okay, default reply behavior, reply or reply all. I would personally recommend to select reply all if it's not the case. Why? Because what we saw a bit earlier, if you have only two people in the conversation, it's going to offer you the opportunity to just click reply. If you have several people, it's going to offer you the opportunity to click reply all. I remember, for example, a former colleague, she was always replying to one people. We were 10 in the group, in the email thread, and she was always replying to one email, to one person, sorry. If this is something that you tend to do, which is not a problem, right? It's not that it's bad or whatsoever. It's just that this is something that people do sometimes. You can just select reply all, and by default, this is what the system is going to allow you to do. Smart Compose. Predictive writing suggestions. So the system is smart. It's going to remember what you are typing, and the system is going to suggest you words and replies and sentences. You can decide to put it on or off. I'm going to get some water. I get thirsty. Oh, okay, better. Default text style. Use the remove formatting button on the toolbar to reset the default text style. So this is where you can decide that for example, all your new emails will be in sans serif or Verdana, for example. You can decide that all your new emails will be in the large font, but all your new email will be in violet because you like violet, right? So if you then save, because you will have to save everything, all your new emails will have this new style instead of the green as we saw a bit earlier. Conversation view. I told you a bit earlier that if you you're a bit uncomfortable with the conversation view, you can actually turn it off. This is where, okay, on, off. By default, it's on. Um, Again, try it for a few days, 2 weeks to see how it goes for you, and yeah, and then you can decide if you want to keep it or just leave it. Okay, nudges. Um, Okay. For example, if you receive an email in December, okay, we are 23rd of January, right? You receive an email in December and you don't reply to it and nobody replies to it. Nothing happens to this email. The system can actually offer you the opportunity to give you a little reminder. It's going to appear as a yellow orange box on the right, like, oh, okay, you didn't reply to this email until December. Do you want to reply to it now? Um, it can be good, for example, if you forget to mark it as important or to snooze it or whatsoever. It can be useful. Can be useful. Hover actions. This is what we saw a bit earlier. I'm going to show you on another window. The hover is this. You see this, the rapid actions. I think that it's extremely useful. I would recommend you to leave it that way. Um, by default, it's on, but you can, disable if you want. Okay, okay, smart reply. What is smart reply? For example, if you receive an email stating, yeah, okay, please find and close this attachment, you're going to have below, if you click on reply, for example, up, I open this email, I click reply, and then, okay, doesn't show here. I'm going to show you with this other session. Um, okay, here. If I click reply, I need to go here. Okay, here. Oh, it doesn't want to show me a quick reply. How does it work? I wanted to show you something. Ah, come on. Okay, for example, this. Lot of emails. Okay, here. See? So you have a lot of emails, exchanges, blah, blah, blah. And here you have the smart replies. So I could, just click thank you, okay, thank you, noted with thanks. Which is kind of useful. Instead of, having to type thank you, see you later, whatsoever, you could just click here and it's going to send and create a new tab and send an email. It can be extremely useful and allow you to gain a lot of time. Okay. Smart reply. On, off. By default, it's on, but you could also decide to just leave it off. Desktop notifications. By default, it's on. It means that every single time you're going to receive an email, you're going to have this little pop-up, on the bottom right, stating, yeah, you received an email from this person. Do you want to reply? Alors, it's good if you receive 1 to 5 emails per day. When you start to receive 10, 20, 50, 100 emails per day, it's just not possible. I'm pretty sure that it can get very annoying for everyone. So I would personally recommend to turn it off because, I mean, it's the same for everyone. Every single time we receive a notification, we receive notifications on our phones, on our computer. Every single time you receive a notification, you get distracted, right? So if you turn it off, you're going to allow you to be more productive and more focused on what you're doing, and then you will be able to come back to your inbox anyway and check your emails. Personally, I turned all notifications off, all chat, hangouts, mail, etc., etc. I just, check them when I want to check, and this is what I would recommend for you too. Stars. So we discussed a bit earlier that you can mark some emails with a star here, okay? Um, in use, okay, so the person decided to use everything. By default, it's this, 1 star. And you have the yellow, red, purple, blue, blah, blah, blah stars. I think that 4 stars, 1 to 4 icons is good. If you put every single thing, you will have to click again every single time to amend. For example, if I decide to put 4 stars, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to save. Oh, someone put it in Vietnamese. Okay, awesome. I don't speak Vietnamese. It's okay. So here you have the star, right? So if you click 1, 2, 3, 4, you can change and go back to normal. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have the 12 icons, seriously, it's going to take forever to get to the icons to the icon that you need. This is why I would recommend you to use at maximum 4. Okay, four icons. Personally, I use only 1, but you could use 4 if you want. Okay, let's get back to English, please. I don't speak Vietnamese. English, English. Someone's making some tests at the same time. Good thing I know where the buttons are. Okay, back to English. Back to settings. Clack, clack, clack. Okay, so we saw the stars. Shortcuts. By default, it's off. You can turn it on if you want. If you click on Learn More, you're going to open a new tab, and if you scroll down a bit, you will be able to have the full list. For example, it means that if you want to open a new message, you just have to press N on your keyboard. If you want to send, you would just have to press, the window. On my keyboard, it's the window key plus Control plus Enter. For example, formatting up, etc., etc., etc. If you are super comfortable with your keyboard and you like shortcuts, it's great. By default, it's off. I mean, if you want to turn it on, your choice, you decide. Button labels, icons or text. Well, if you decide to put text, it's going to take a lot of time. For example, a lot of space, not time. For example, I turn it on. Let's see how it goes now. Save changes. See, instead of having an icon here, it's going to indicate me with text. So labels, move to, snooze, markup, unread. I mean, you decide. You decide if you want to have the full text displayed or if you just want to have the icons. I like to have the icons because it's visually lighter, let's say. But if you want to have the full text, you can, which is good too. Up, we go back to settings. Okay, I'm going to put it back to icons. My picture, select a picture. It's like your profile picture. You can just select one and upload it, and then every single time you're going to send an email, people are going to be able to see your face, which is nice. Okay, signature. The signature is actually entered by equal, but if it wasn't the case, you would be able to, amend it here. Depends on the company. You could also decide if you want to insert this signature in every single email, sorry, including when you reply. For example, if you don't tick this, you're going to insert the signature every single time you create a new email. If you click up and select, the signature is going to be included, even if you just click on reply. Um, mm, 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 mm. Okay, snippets. Show snippets, no snippets. By default, it's on. Snippets are on. What is a snippet? I'm going to show you. So at the moment, it's off, right? So up, if I go back here in the inbox, you can see, only the object. and the attachments. So you can't see anything else. So if I turn it on and I want to have a snippet, I'm going to apply changes, loading. So now I have this, what is a snippet? It's like a little preview of the content of your email. So I think that it's good because it allows you to see the content. For example, if someone is just replying okay or thanks, you don't need to, go inside and check what's going on. You could just, mark it as read or unread. Mark it as read. I do that a lot. So I don't have to go inside the message, see, okay, what this person is replying to me. Okay, this person is just saying hello, thanks, bye. It can allow you to save a bit of time. However, when you start to get a lot of emails, it can get very heavy, visually speaking. For example, if I go back to all emails, okay, and you have everything, can get a bit heavy. It's your choice, especially if you decide to, you know, get this view, or even worse, even worse to the compact view. Okay, it's very dense. Okay, settings. Oh, not yet. Not yet. Okay, but for the end. Okay, settings. And the last thing in this general setting page is auto reply, obviously. So someone made a test with the auto reply on. I want to turn it off at the moment. I'm going to show you. Hopla. Okay. Okay. So by default, it's off. And you don't have any last day setup. The auto reply, wait, what is it? It's going to be obvious for a lot of people, but if someone sends you an email and that your auto reply is on, this people is going to receive an automated reply with this text. So for example, someone put it in Polish, like a phone number, like you can contact me maybe. So how do you activate it, turn it on? You just click on out of office auto reply on. Okay, you can decide a date, for example, from Friday, I'm off, and I want to select a last day. So, for example, until 3rd of February, I am off, so I'm off 1 week. Here in subject, I can just put out of the office and say, yeah, okay, please contact, blah, blah, blah. You decide. You can, amend. You can format the text and everything. You're not forced to put a last day. Obviously, you can just, let it be. So the auto reply will be on until you decide to turn it off. We're going to see in 1 second how it looks like. And something very important. You can here decide to send a response to only people in your contact lists or only it to people in Ecologistics in your domain. If you want to send this email to everybody, including people in Ecologistics and in your contact, you untick. So every single person who's going to send you an email is going to receive this auto reply. So, for example, if you are working in a customer department, you don't want your customers to know when you are off or in holidays or whatsoever. You could decide to select only people in ecologistics. So then we're going to see a bit later how you can allow access to other people to you mailbox. But you could say, okay, I just want ecologistics people to know that I am off. I don't want clients to know when I am off, so that my colleagues can do my backup and answer emails when I am off. Easy. I'm going to untick that. Save changes. I made a mistake in the date. I wanted to show you how it looks like. Okay, so if I put here 23rd of January, save. Okay, so you can see here the yellow bar out of the office. You can decide to end now or to go back to the settings. If you click on end now, up, your preferences have been saved, so your auto reply is now off. You could also go back to the settings and just, change the date, change the text, whatsoever. Okay, let's have a quick look if we have any questions. Here. So you went too fast in the beginning. Well, the thing is that you will be able to watch the replay, so it's not going to be an issue for you. No worries. If you miss something, you just go back to the beginning, and you will be able to have access to the full thing. No worries. Okay, so no specific questions. Up, up. Okay, so that were the general settings. The labels, all right. So we saw a bit earlier how you can create labels and change the color and tag your emails. So here you have a global overview of all the labels that you created. Okay, so here you can see that you have factory, formation, test, test 2, test 1 to 3, training. You can decide to change the name, like, okay, formation here. You just click up formation morning, for example, up, you type enter, and up, it was renamed. You can decide to show or to hide. So you can see that at the moment, factory uh, is displayed, but morning, formation morning is hidden. Show. When it's in a bold black, it means that it's activated. Okay, so here it's show, here it's hidden, here it's shown, show. Okay. So you can, here from here, remove it, edit, for example, factory. If I want to, change the name, put it in another label is something that you can do. So yeah, you have a global overview of your labels. Something important that is written here. It's not because you remove a label that's going to remove the messages, right? For example, if you have one email with one tag, one label that is factory, it doesn't have the inbox label, it just has factory. If you remove factory, you will be able to find this email in the all mail box. It's not going to be deleted, it's not going anywhere, it's just here. Okay. Settings of your inbox. So we saw a bit earlier in the very beginning categories, so primary, social, promotion, etc. You can change from here too. Something that is nice and I like to use, inbox type. If you click here, you have this little drop-down menu, and you can decide to put on the top of your box all emails that are important, all emails that are unread, starred, or priority, prioritized. I'm going to make it. Something that I like a lot is to put first all starred emails, but you could also decide to put all your unread emails. Your choice. So if I have to show you, for example, my professional inbox here, this is my professional one, right? I have here all my starred emails, and then if I scroll down, the rest of the emails. But I could also decide to put all the unread emails and put them on top. But I want to have all the marked ones and then the rest of them. Up. Your choice. Let's keep with default at the moment. Importance markers. So you could decide to activate or deactivate a marker. What is the difference with a label? By default, it's on. What is the difference with starred and labels? We saw a bit earlier that labels are meant to sort your emails. To store your emails mean that you will be able to follow them and to find them even quicker. The important one, it means that the system this is what's written here. The system is going to analyze all the messages to predict what's important. So the system is going to decide for you what is important, depending on how fast you treated past emails from this person or for this project. and many factors. If you click on learn more, you're going to, have a full explication, keywords, depending on which image you start, archive, delete. Um, so you can try it on, see how it works for you. You can also decide by yourself if you want to mark an email as important. For example, if you go back, discard changes. No, do not discard. Let's let's save. Okay. For example, here, okay, you have the star and then you have the important icon. I could decide to, click here to teach ecologistics mail that this conversation is important. Now the conversation is marked as important. So you could do that manually. I click here, I click back, I click here, I click back. But all the future images you're going to receive are going to be defined as important or not by the system. So you decide if you want to activate this or not. Okay, back to inbox. Okay, filtered emails. Okay, we're going to see in 1 second how you can actually set up filters. So your mailbox is actually having another filter. You can decide to include them or not. I mean, there is no point in having another filter on a filter. I mean, it's useless. So filtered email. You don't want how can I explain that a bit more clearer? You don't want the filter to override a filter that you already put. It doesn't mean anything. So unless you don't create any filter, just stay on. Don't override filters. It makes no sense otherwise. Okay. Again, if you make any changes here, don't forget to save the changes. We didn't touch anything, so there's nothing to save. Accounts. Okay, this is something extremely important here. How can you access someone else's email box? One thing first is that um, the other person have to allow you to grant you access to their account. You cannot access the account of someone else if this person didn't grant you the access. So this is here. Okay. Again, this is good if you work in a customer department and you want to have access to your colleague because this colleague is going on holidays. This colleague will have to create here, not create, sorry, add another account. So, okay, to open the window, you can add the box email address that you want to grant access to. And this person is going to be then able to read, to reply to all, to sort your emails. So pay very attention, right? Don't do that, lightly, let's say. Okay. Something important. You can decide if you want to mark conversation as read already, or if you want to, have a look at what has been done before and you want to um, leave all messages unread because you want to, double check or whatsoever, you decide. If you want to go, for 3 weeks holidays, maybe you don't want to have your inbox full of unread messages, but if you are just off for 1 or 2 days, you can, make sure that, I mean, you can decide to leave everything unread and go back to it. Okay. Filters. Okay, some people already made some tests. And you have two ways to make a filter. So basically, what is a filter? A filter means that you will be able to, for example, tag a specific email depending on who sent it or depending on the objects and allow it to go back to a specific inbox, for example. So for example, I could decide that all emails from Laura are going to go directly in training. For example, I could decide that all emails from myself are going to be marked as green, for example. So you have two ways. So if you click here, I'm just going to find a little example. All mails. Okay. So first option. For example, I want to mark all emails from Laura Testu at Devo Team Cloud in yellow. Okay, so I type Laura Testu. Okay, I have this address. Okay, you select the contact. You click here on the little arrow, show search options. So from Laura, I could select someone else. You have other Laura. You have Laura Mandic in Italy. You have Laura Rivero Martinez in Barcelona. Okay, I want all emails from Laura Testu at Devo Team Cloud to appear in yellow. So I click on create a filter. Here, something extremely important, you have to apply a label, all right? So then I can choose, but also I could create a new label if I click on new label. So I could just create a label, training 2. Okay, great. So I now have a new label that is here, training 2. Okay, so all emails from Laura Testu are going to go directly to this mailbox. I could decide that I don't want this email to go in the inbox. I want it to go directly in this training tool label. So I could decide to skip the inbox. So I'm not going to be able to see the email here in the inbox. I will see it directly in the training tool label. I could decide to star it because I wanted to, to be able to follow it. I could decide to delete it because I don't care. I could decide to send a canned response automatically. For example, like, yes, I received your email. I'm going to reply to you within a few days. Thanks, bye. Okay. I could decide to mark it as important always. Something that is extremely, let's unselect that. Something extremely important is that you need to apply the filter to all the emails. So this is very important. I think that you are all already working on Gmail, so you all have all the emails already. If you are working on making all your filters, etc., don't forget to tick this. So in this configuration, we have 0 matching conversations, but you could have 2, 5, 7, as many as necessary. So don't forget to tick that if you have here 2, 1, 10, 20 conversations. Okay, create filter. So the filter was created. And now if I go back to settings, filters, up, I can see that here I have this filter that I just created, right, on the top. All emails from Laura Testu do this. They skip inbox, they apply label, training 2. It's quite easy actually. And from here, you could decide to, edit or delete it. I could delete that one because I made a test of it already. You could select all, you could select none. You can also block some specific email addresses. But if you have an issue with a spam, etc., I would highly recommend to contact your IT team because they will be able to actually block email addresses that are, spam or ads or anything. So instead of just having this configuration on your own, everybody would benefit from it, which is cool. Okay, this you don't care because this is a very technical thing, and you don't have access to this. Add-ons. Okay, so Logistics allows you to get add-ons. So last week we couldn't get any add-ons. Let's see what we have now. Yes, you could decide to add Dropbox, Trello, Asana, the main one. I'm going to let you have a look at this on your own. Up, close. The chat. Okay, chat on, chat off. You could just decide to turn it off because you don't care. You don't want to have your chat box here or here. This is where you actually turn it off or on. Let's keep it here at the moment. Advanced. Okay. Auto advanced. Oh, it's highly possible that the options are not in the same order than me. It's normal. Don't get upset. It's normal. Auto dance. Enable, disable. What's going to happen if you enable it? For example, you are in your mailbox. You have 10, 20, 50, 200 emails. You enter an email and you decide to delete it. If you stay on disabled, it's going to take you back to the general inbox. If you enable it, it's going to get you to the former email. Custom keyboard shortcuts, enable, disable, your choice. Multiple inboxes, we have seen a bit earlier, enable, disable. Preview pane, it's cool, it's cool. If you are used to work with Outlook or Lotus, you have this pane, this window on the right or at the bottom of your screen, and if you click on an email, it's going to give you a preview of the email. I think that it's a nice setting. I'm going to enable it, and then I'm going to show you how you can decide if you want it on the right or at the bottom. Okay, and here right side chat, move the chat box to the right side of the inbox. I'm going to enable this to show you how it looks like. I would recommend you, if you are not using the preview pane, to move your chat box to the right, because when you start to get many labels, it's going to be a bit annoying, because it's going to limit you. Here I have to scroll back up, back up, back up. It's annoying. You can move here, but it's not very comfortable. Okay, save changes, always, don't forget. Okay, so the chat box disappeared from here, and it's now here on the right. And we talked about the preview panes. Here now you have a new icon, right? Toggle split pane mode. If you click on the little arrow, you have the option no split. This is what we have now, vertical split, or horizontal split. If you click on vertical split, you have now the preview window. So if I click here on the email, then I have the preview pane. I like this setting. You could also decide to have horizontal splits. Same, but below. I like that one. Okay, let's go back to the settings. Something extremely important is the offline mode. Okay, I have a training account, so it's not available apparently for me. What is the offline mode? The offline mode is going to allow you to access your email for the last 90 days. So the emails are actually on your laptop. So you will be able to access them even if you are not connected to the internet. Um, don't do that. Don't activate that if you are not working on your private computer or laptop or mobile. If you are using the computer of someone else, don't do that. If you are using your computer at home, don't do that. If you have a laptop, you could do that. It's very comfortable, very convenient. For example, if you take the plane, you could access your emails, start to reply, work on them, and as soon as you land and get access to the internet again, your emails will be sent. This is super, 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 super useful. Themes. Okay, I like that one. I like to keep it for the end. It's excellent, I think, to how can I say that? To make this app, this tool, yours, truly yours. So all white and gray is actually a standard theme, but you could decide to pick up your own. So you have a list of nice pictures. And it's cool. You could, for example, decide to put a lake, to put some light, to put the leaves, to put the beach, the forest. This is the classic one, default one. You could decide to put in black, blue, yellow, little Japanese cherry blossom, the mountains. Um, Up. For example, if you click on more images, you have a lot of choices. Um, the city looks like Portugal. Uh, again, the beach, the skies, etc., etc. The dolphins. Hmm, which one am I going to choose? Okay, it's snowing today, Neil, so I'm going to select fact one. Select. Up. So I have this nice image here. How nice is this? It's cool. Up. You can also access them very quickly here with a little wheel, Teams, up you click. Something that you can do is that you can decide to select if you want a light background for the text or dark. For example, now it's light, but you could also decide to go for dark. So if I save, so it's now in dark, it's now in black. With more images, it looks like this. It's nice. It's quite aesthetic, actually. You could also decide to add a little vignette. So what is a vignette? It's when the borders of the picture are darker. Um, it's very dramatic. You could also decide to blur it a bit. Up. I want to save. Well, you could decide. Okay, I think that we saw almost everything. I think that we saw everything about Gmail. One little thing with the chat. So here we have now our chat box on the right. Here we have the conversations, right? If you click here, up, you have access to your contacts. Here you can decide to change your situation, your status. For example, I could say here that I'm on the phone, so people would be able to see it. I'm on the phone. You could mute notifications. A bit earlier, we saw how we can turn off notifications for email, but you could do that for the chat box as well. I could mute, for 4 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, 1 hour. Okay, so now it's muted. You could decide to invite, block people, sign out if you don't want to, if you don't want people to send you messages or whatsoever. And obviously make phone calls directly. We have this little widgets. We'll talk about calendar in a few minutes. But something cool is actually that you have access to Keep. So, okay, so 2 hours ago, I told you that it's a way to create notes like post-its. So it's very, very easy. You just, like here, don't forget to book a room. You click on done, and it's done. You have the possibility to archive, delete, or open it in a specific app. Okay, it's not in Polish. I don't speak Polish. Okay, up. You could also, pin it, meaning mark it as important. For example, if I decide to pin that one up, it's going to go on top, and it's going to have this blue icon. So you can decide which ones you want to see on top. I'm going to unpin it. So it's like post-its, basically. So it's good if you have, for example, if you want to take some notes because, I don't know, you are on a phone call and you don't want to open a document whatsoever, and you just want to note down very quickly a phone number, an email address whatsoever. It's a good tool. However, you cannot put a date, you cannot put reminders. This is the limit. So this is why you also have this app, which is Tasks. So if you click on it, you could add a task. So you could, for example, again, book a room. And then if you click on the little pen, you could edit details, you could add details. For example, look, for the training meeting. In Polish, but sorry. Here you can add, what does it mean in Polish? I'm not sure. Let me check. Yeah, okay, because you can create lists if you want to add it to a specific list. I wasn't sure. I wanted to check. So if you want to add it to a specific list of tasks, here we only have one list, but you could create a new list. See, so this one, I don't know what it means in Polish, but this is our main, let's say, primary list, but you could create a new list. Okay, so back to the edits. You could add a date. For example, I want to book a room for tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to receive a little reminder, and it's also going to appear in my calendar that I need to book a room for the training meeting. Okay, something important, don't click here. Don't click on close, don't click on delete, obviously. Click on the little arrow back if you want to save. If you click on the if you for example, if you change the details like blah blah blah, and then you click here, it's not going to take into consideration what you did. See, it's going to close everything. But, okay. So which is cool with the task is that you will be able to access them and see them in your agenda. Training, okay, it's all in Polish. Come on, let's put it back in English, please. I think it's here. Okay. Yeah. English, 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 English. Yep. Touchland. Okay, in English. Better. Okay, so for example, here we're going to be able to see that a bit later, but if I decide to have all my tasks in my calendar, up, I have my task here, book a room. So I have a little reminder. And something that I think is nice is that you can actually, move it from one day to another. For example, I don't want to put it on Thursday, I want to put it in Friday. Boom, it's on Friday. And now, if you open it again, I can see that it's now booked for Friday. I think it's a nice setting. Okay, let's see if we have any questions on the chat. Here. Here. Okay, that's a nice question. If we have several people working on the same mailbox, is a change of labels visible for everyone? Well, the answer is no. You handle your own labels. Your labels are linked to your Gmail account. They are very personal. It doesn't matter if someone is creating a label that is different on the same email because it's their mailbox, right? For example, I sort my emails per project, but my other colleagues are sorting their emails in a different way, and we receive the same emails, but I'm not impacted by their labels, and they are not impacted by my labels. Everything you do in your inbox is actually staying in your inbox. That was a good question. Okay. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, we're going to move to calendar. If you think about something else, don't hesitate to type in the chat box. Inbox, okay. I need to stay hydrated. Okay, so to access your calendar, you have two options. We saw a bit earlier that you can access all your apps from this button. So if you click here, you have direct access to all your apps, calendar, docs, blah, blah, blah. This is the first option. You click on calendar. Okay. Second option. Here you have a shortcut to your calendar. So you click and then you can open in your new tab. Okay, second option. And obviously, the third option is actually to type directly in your URL box the address https blah 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 calendar.google.com. Up, if I copy and paste this up, ta-da, it's going to open the agenda of the ECOL training session. Okay. It's the same for the contacts. If I want to open my contacts, I go to the launcher and I click on contacts, and then it opens the contacts window. Actually, we're going to start with this before moving to the calendar. It's going to be very quick. Okay, what is contacts? Contacts is actually the app that allows you to find and gather all your contacts, so meaning the contacts from your company. So you have a company directory, but also all your personal contacts. So the directory, you cannot amend it. Everyone is actually having an access to it. It's handled by your admin team. And your contacts are all the other contacts, for example, clients, prospects, partners, printers, whatsoever, anyone that is not part of your company. So if you click here, up directory, you can see that you have almost 4,000 people in your directory. So you have like everybody. For example, if I am looking for, oops. For example, I'm looking for Hamed. Okay. If you don't need to type the full name. You could just type the first letters. It's going to find people that you are looking for. See, and then you can just select someone. It's going to open the profile with the name, the email address, the phone, the office location, the departments. So you can see that this person is working in the custom exports department. And you have a full access to the Google profile. Okay. In the contacts. So as I said, it's your personal list. Just like Labos, actually, nobody, unless you decide, can access your contacts. The directory is a global directory. Your contacts are yours. Nobody else than you is going to be able to have access to this list unless you grant them access. We're going to see that a bit later. So to create a contact, two options. First one, well, you have this main button, create contacts, right? Okay. Second option, you go to contacts and then you have create contacts and then up again. So for example, first name, okay, I'm going to add Laura. I'm going to type, you can have the, the company details. You can add the email. Okay, so this one is already here. Up. Let's get rid of that. Up. Phone number. You can have more. You can add more fields. For example, if you want to add, the address, postcode, birthday, website, relationship status, whatsoever. I don't know why this is. I don't know why this is part of the fields. Okay, and then you click on save. Saving, and now it's saved. So from here, you have a contact, okay, that you can now, mark as important, star them, whatsoever. You can edit them again. So you go back to this this window. You can change. If you click on more actions, you can delete it, or you can add labels. What is a label in contacts? Labels in contacts, they work just like groups of contacts. We saw a bit earlier in Gmail that you could create, directly contact groups. You could do that also in this app. So if you want to create a group of contacts, you go here, you create a label, create label, you click. So for example, I create a group named training, save. So here I have this group. And if I click, I can see that at the moment there is no one. If I click on group 2, there is no one. Okay, very useful. And here on this one, group 1, this is the one that I made a bit earlier. I can see that you have Hebrew and that you have Laura Testu. Okay, so to add people to a group, you cannot click here and then decide, yeah, okay, let's import contacts. No, you have to select your contacts. This is what they explain here, and then add contacts. So you have to, for example, select this one, Laura, okay, and then I have to click on Manage Labels, and then I can select the group, and I want to add it to training group, and then I have to apply. So it works, it's the same way of thinking than when you tag your emails. Um, one contact can be part of several groups, right? Um, the group is like a label that you apply to your contact. It's the same way of thinking. Okay, something important. If you click here, okay, on more, you can actually delegate the access of your contact to someone else. So by default, all your contacts you create here are yours. Nobody else can see them, you cannot share them, and nobody can actually have access to them. However, if you want someone else, for example, your colleague, your boss, your secretary, to have access to your contacts and to manage them, you can delegate access. And this is different than delegating access to your calendar, right? This is two different steps. Just saying because this is a question that I get a lot. Delegate access, okay. I can see at the moment that training one is the owner. I could, select here and decide that Ebro, for example, I'm not going to send it, but Ebro is now able to have access to my contact. If I click on send, Ebro is now will be able to have access to my contacts and see them and use them. So again, groups that you create in contacts are different than the groups that are managed by your admin team. For example, if you have a group, an admin group for HR, for customer service or whatsoever, it's different than the groups that you create in contacts. And what's nice is actually that the groups that you create here, you can use them, okay, in Gmail, obviously, but also in the calendar and in your Drive. If you're already using Drive, this is something that is useful for you to know. If you go to settings, well, you can, again, change the language. Something important, change eventually the country code. So here, the system recognized that I was in France, but you could also, I don't know, if you are working in something exotic. Hong Kong, it's exotic for me, or India. If you're in Japan, if you're in Germany, if you're in Italy, if you're in Turkey, for example, okay. Let's select Morocco. Okay. All your, if I say, up and here, you see here on the details, you can see that the phone number will be automatically added to the Morocco country code. And something very classic, you could decide if you want to sort them with their first name or last name. First name, last name, no choice. Don't forget to save. Okay, the system actually is quite smart. And for example, if you create a contact that is already in your directory, the system will be able to tell you. If you click here on duplicates, okay, we have the duplicates at the moment, but the system would tell you, yeah, okay, you have this contact and then this contact in your directory. Or for example, you have two identical contacts with the same email address, but say there's two different people. What do you want to do? Do you want to merge them? Do you want to delete one of them? This is very, very useful. At the moment, we have none, but when you start to create your own contacts lists, it can get very, very useful. Okay, let's see if we have any questions on contacts. I think that the tool is pretty straightforward, right? There's no specific. I mean, it's quite easy to understand, I think. But let me know if you have any questions, obviously. Okay, no questions now. Okay. Let's move to the calendar. The calendar. Okay, so in terms of layout, it's the same as Gmail, right? On the top left, you have the logo calendar, right? You have this button to expand or hide the left panel. You have in the middle the possibility, if you click here, to send your calendar on the day of today. For example, if I scroll like clack, I move to April. If I click here on today, it brings me back on the day, on Wednesday, 23rd. Here you have the month, the year, you have the possibility to show the week, you have the setting menu, um, again the launcher, and again the logo of the company. What we recommend you as soon as you actually enter your calendar is to go to the settings. So let's do that. Settings menu. Okay, so we saw a bit earlier that some people were making some tests, putting in Vietnamese, Polish, etc. If you want to change the language, it's here. Language into region. You could decide, to put in Spanish, to French, or whatsoever. Let's keep it in English at the moment. You could change the country. It's going to have an impact on your time zone. For example, if I want to add France, when I'm going to create meetings, etc., it's going to take into consideration the French time zone. I highly recommend you to change this if it's not the case. Time format. By default, it's in this format, PM, AM, PM. If you're comfortable with one or another, you can change depending on what you like. Let's put it, the classic European way. Time zone. Someone already created a secondary time zone. It's interesting if you actually work with people in different time zones. For example, if you are in Paris and you work with people in Turkey, if you work with people in Hong Kong, in Japan, in Mexico, etc., etc. It's interesting because it's going to show you both time zones. So you will have right now, for example, if you invite people to a meeting, you will be able to see right now the time zone of your colleagues. So let's put it like this at the moment. You can obviously swap them. So the primary time zone is Central European time as Paris. You can swap them. Decide to your primary time zone is Turkey. Up. Okay, scroll down a bit. Wall clock. Well, it's interesting if you again work with several people, but if you already set up your time zones, do you really need a wall clock? I don't know, you decide. Event settings. Okay, by default it's 1 hour. It means that every single time you're going to create a meeting on an invitation, let's say an event in your calendar, it's going to create an event of 60 minutes. You can change that to 15, 30, 45, 60 minutes, 90, whatsoever. For example, if you like to create meetings of 30 minutes, you create 30 minutes. Okay. Something that can be useful, the speeding meetings. For example, let's say that you have an afternoon full of meetings, right? You have a meeting at 2, a meeting at 3, a meeting at 4. And you want to, let's say, have a break, to have a little coffee and go to the bathroom, for example. You could actually click here, speedy meetings, and allow meetings to finish a bit earlier. So you can just have, it's little breaks between meetings. So for example, now it's not 30 minutes, it's 25. It's not 60 minutes, it's 50 minutes. So it's interesting if you spend a lot of time in meetings. Something extremely important here. by default, by default, it's going to be like this. So when you create an event, and you will be willing to add guests to this event, by default, guests will be able to invite other people and to see the guest lists. You can change that. You can, decide that guests cannot invite other people by default, right? Let's put it like that, so that the guests will only be able to see the guest list and they won't be able to forward the invitation, for example. Um, Obviously, it's not because you are setting this up here that it means that you won't be able to change this or to amend this per event. For example, if your default settings is just see guest lists, but you want for specific event people to invite other people, you will be able to do this. Okay, second options. If someone sends you an invite, you're going to receive it in Gmail, right? You can decide if you want to add it automatically. You can decide to add it only if you respond yes or maybe. Or you can decide to display invitations to which you have replied. So as long as you don't reply, you don't say yes, no, maybe, it's not going to show in your agenda. And again, notifications. Do you want to have little alerts like pop-ups? Do you want to have this, like the mail notifications, this pop-up at the bottom right? Or do you want to turn it off? Well, your choice. More options. Do you want to show the weekends? Yes, no, maybe, your choice. Personally, I like to see the weekends because I have merged my personal and professional calendars, sorry. But this is your choice. You can decide to show or not show the client events. I want to let that unticked because I don't see the point. Something very interesting, to show the week numbers. If you work in logistics, like a lot of people, you can find useful to actually see the week numbers. For example, if I click again on calendar, up here you can see the week. So this week is week 4. I think that this is a very, very useful setting. You can decide to reduce the brightness of past events. So here, for example, you can see that we have events this afternoon. Someone has made test already. It's in. Okay, I'm going to change the color so you will be able. So here, okay, the same color. It's peacock. So this one is in bright red, and this one is pale red, right? So the light is actually, the color is lighter, right? So visually, it's good to see, to know where you are in your calendar. So this one is kind of light. You don't have a lot of events, but when you start to book your calendar with meetings and events and whatsoever, it's going to be quite useful to maybe reduce the visibility, let's say, the brightness of past events. View calendar side by side in day view. If you have several calendars, you will have different all the events that are going to be added next to each other. For example, does it work? So here, for example, here. So we have this calendar in blue, okay, and this calendar is in red. So you can see both calendars, right? And you can see that events are next to each other. Same here, right? Same here. You can decide to enable this or not. I think it's useful. I would recommend you to leave it that way. Here, by default, because this is an American system, an American app, the week starts on Sunday because this is the American way. In Europe and in a lot of countries in the world, the week starts on Monday, so you can change it here. But if you want to have it, the weekend start with Saturday, start with Monday, your choice. Set custom view. You can decide to show the 7 days, only 4, only 5. I like to have the 7 days displayed. So here, for example, you have from Monday to Sunday, you have the 7 days, but you could decide to only have from Monday to Friday, and then you would need to scroll on the right to see Saturday and Sunday. It's going to allow you to have more space, per column. Okay. And yeah, alternative calendars. For example, in China, they have a moon calendar. If you want to add something like this, well, you can. Okay, automatically add events from Gmail to my calendar. When you're going to receive an email with an invite, you can decide if you want to match your default settings, like what we change all settings saved. What we decided here, okay, this is default setting. Or you can decide, I want this to be private. I want this to be only me. Working hours. Okay. Enable or not enable working hours. Up. By default, it's like this. By default, it's like this, right? So you have from Monday to Friday, you have Saturday and Sunday here that are not ticked. What's the point of this? If you decide, for example, that from Monday you work from 8 until 6 and Tuesday from 9 until 5, if someone actually sends you an invite that is outside those working hours, they're going to receive a notification, like a little pop-up. Hey, pay attention, this person, this invitation is out of the working hours of this person, do you want to send it or not? Well, it's not blocking, it's not a blocking point. If someone wants to send you an invitation that is outside the working hours, they can. They totally can. So if you enable this, then you will be able to say, yeah, for example, I don't work on Monday, but I work on Saturdays. And then, well, the list is going to be updated. And then it's, yeah, okay, on Saturday I start at 10 and I finish at 6, for example. See, you can amend them, modulate them as you want. Main work location. Okay, so it's not set up for you, but for example, in my company, we have different locations. We have Paris, we have Lyon, we have Lille, and here we can choose the location. So, for example, I could choose Lyon, and then I could choose the floor. What's the point of this? When you will create an event, you would be able to select the location, and then you would be able to select the rooms. For example, if you want to book a room. So yeah, it's not set up for you. As you can see, only the admin has permissions to set up your main work location. So yeah, it's just for your information. And again, the keyboard shortcuts. Enable or disable the keyboard shortcuts. Disable, enable. Okay. If I press mark, yeah, you need to enable them and then press question mark on your keyboard, and then you have the list. So for example, if you type on your keyboard C, you will be able to create an event directly, to edit the event, blah, 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 blah. You can, use them if you are comfortable. Okay, here, you can add a calendar. It's different than, granting access to someone else. You can have on the same account different calendars. So for example, new calendar here. I can see that, I have already several calendar, right? But let's, for the sake of it, create a new calendar. Let's call it training 3 and dates. Okay. I can select the time zone, which is nice. Up. You can see, who's the owner. So it's training 1. Who's the organization? Yes. Okay. Create a calendar. Calendar creation in progress. It can take a bit of time, depending on, your your internet access. Okay, training free successfully created. So now I can see that I have this calendar here. So yeah, this is something that you are not supposed to. Yeah, this is what is actually set up by the admin. I don't speak Turkish. I'm not sure what it is. Browse calendars of interest if you want to add the Christian holidays or just whoops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Preview if you want to add Muslim, Jewish holidays, if you want to add the phase of the moon, blah blah blah. Import and export very briefly. For example, if you work on with your iPhone, you can import your calendar from your iPhone and import it in your calendar, in your Google Calendar. If you want to do that, contact your IT team. They will be able to help you step by step. This is just for your information to let you know that this is something that you can do. Okay, so here on the left, you can see that you have all your calendar, right? So this is the main one, okay? Training, the first one. And you can see that if you click on training, maybe if it wasn't clear, okay, you have to click here up, and it's going to display a new drop-down menu. So you have the name, you can change the name. You can add description, change the primary time zone. If you scroll down a bit, something extremely important is that you can define the access rights to people. Okay, so by default, this is, the standard ones. Your calendar is available for your colleagues at Ecologistics, but they're going to, then they won't be able to see the details, right? You're going to be, it's going to appear as busy. For example, up, if I go back here, here you have all the details, right? You see test events, tests, some polishings. If I decide to get rid of everything here, clack, 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 and I decide to, okay, see the calendar in purple, okay, the calendar from Dre, you can see that he's busy, right? But you cannot see the details. You can see just that he's busy. So you can see the hours, you can see, the schedule, let's say, but just see busy. You don't see the details. This is something that you can actually amend. If you want people to see all the details of your events, you can just, see all detailed events. Event details, sorry, in English. So from now, people will be able to see your details. Setting saved. So people will be able to see like test, the time, Plaza de las Glorias Catalanas, tips for using in your inbox, blah, 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 blah. They will be able to see the details. So pay attention if you really want everybody to know your details. What I would actually recommend is that you, by default, you hide details. And what you can do is actually to share with some specific people. Here, share with specific people. You can add people. For example, you work with a team and you want your boss or your colleague to have access to your calendar. Okay, you can add people here. You can add Daniel, Marine, you can add Laura. Yes, you can also add someone outside your domain. For example, I don't know, I'm going to add Ebru, for example. I'm not going to send the invitation, right? But I select the people, so you can select several people. Huh? Up here. Oops. Again, let's do that. Okay. Again. Up. You can select several people, and you can here decide if you want people to see your details, if you want them to be able to make changes to your event, or if you want them to make changes and to manage sharing. So This is interesting, for example, if you have a secretary and you want the secretary or your colleague to book your calendar whatsoever, you could, decide to allow someone to make changes to your events, but pay attention to this sharing thing. If you select this person is going to be able to share with new specific people, and you won't necessarily have the control of who we are adding to the list. So pay attention. Let's say that I don't want to send here because I don't want to spam other people. Okay. By default, you should have a notification here. By default, you have notifications for all events. It means that 10 minutes before the start of the event, you're going to receive a little notification. You could decide to add another one. For example, I want to 60 minutes before the beginning of an event, right? So by default, you will be able to manage that and change that event per event. But by default, you will receive a notification 10 minutes and 60 minutes before the beginning of your events. It's the same. I mean, you can decide for one-shot events, but it's the same for all the events. You could add a notification here. Global notifications. If you want to receive an email when someone invites you to an event, if someone changes an email, cancel an event. If you what your guests respond to event, I will highly recommend you to let the email notification. That way you're going to receive everything in your mailbox. You won't have to go back to your calendar and check event per event, what other people said, replied, etc., etc. Integrate calendar. Well, it's not very useful. If you want to share publicly your calendar, I would not recommend that. And obviously, you can delete a calendar. Here. And all the settings that we just saw, you can, apply them for all the other agenda. For marketing, it's the same. You can find, same options. The only one we cannot amend is birthdays. See, because this is like a template. In contacts, you can add the birthdays. We saw that a bit earlier very quickly. If you do that in your calendar, you're going to be able to see the birthdays of your contacts, and you cannot delete that one, unfortunately or fortunately. I don't know. Up. Okay. So we can see here settings for other calendars. We have here access to calendars of other people. We can see that Andre and Oran actually share their calendar with us. So for example, if I click on Andre, I can see again the details. I can change the name if I want. I can see what he decided. I can see that Andre decided that no one can see his agenda except me because it's shared with me, and I can see only 3 busy his schedules, his general schedule. Same for Oran. I could remove obviously a calendar. I could just unsubscribe. Okay, that's all for the settings. Let's see if we have any questions about just the same account. We have accounts that are by several people. I think that this question is about Gmail. It depends actually. It depends what you mean by handled. Does it mean that several people have access to a same email address, or does it mean that you have a group email address and people can access it? It's different. It's totally different. If you have several people with specific email address that have access to a group email, yes, what you do in your group email is going to impact other people, obviously. But what you do in your Dennis mailbox, it's not going to impact what your colleague Jennifer or Michelle is going to do in their own inbox. However, if you have several people handling for example, a customer support mailbox, if you go to the customer support mailbox and start to make some changes, other people will be able to see it. Okay. Up. Okay, so settings, we're done. What's happening if you want to create an event? Two options, actually. First option, you create an event with the main button here. So you click, create, you can add a title, formation, sorry, it's in French, training, it's better. You can here decide the date. For example, I want to add a training next Friday. I can decide the dates. I want to set up a training from 10 to. So you can see that we actually set up short meetings. So it's not exactly noon. It's not exactly 2 hours. It's around 2 hours, right? I can decide which agenda I want to select, which calendar, sorry, I want to select. If I want the main one, the marketing, training 3, training 2, let's select the training agenda. If you click here, you have more options and you have the full display. So here you can change the time zone. If I want to select Paris, someone changed already. We used to have Turkey here, someone changed them already. Okay, so you could change your time zone. You could decide if it's an all-day event. So you're not going to have access to the hours. You can add a location, for example, let's say Paris. You could add an address, for example, for example, here, I don't know where it is. Huh? I'm just typing this out of nowhere. Which is cool with this. If you type an address, if you use then your calendar with your mobile phone, you will have a direct link that is going to redirect you to your map, which is so useful. I use that all the time. It's super great. You could add a conference with Hangouts, Meet. We're going to talk about very soon. Up. So it's going to create directly details for a video conference. It means that if you create a Hangouts Meet in your invitation, people who are going to receive the invitation will just have to click here on the link and then be able to access the video conference, which is super useful. You don't have to send, separate email with the details and so on. Notifications. Notifications are for you, but not for other people. For example, if you then add guests, guests will not receive notifications, right? These notifications are for you. We don't want to get sadistic and put notification 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Notifications are just for you. You can add them, remove them, whatsoever. Here again, you can, choose your agenda. You can choose the color. So this is the default color, peacock, but you can decide, to just put it in yellow because you like yellow. You can add a description, G Suite, G Suite training. You can change the font. You can, not the font, sorry. You can change, the format. You can put in bold, italic, underline. You can add an attachment. Something that is cool is that even if you forward the invitation, if you amend it, change the day, the time, and so on, your attachment will follow. And something else that is cool is that if you add an attachment and then start a video conference, people will be able to access the attachment directly, from your Hangouts Meet video conference, which is super practical. For example, if you want to share, for example, what you're going to discuss in a meeting, a PDF presentation whatsoever, you had it here, and then people will be able to access it on their own. Okay, you can add guests. For example, I want to add Daniel. I want to add, I don't know, Abdullah. I want to add, I don't know, Ebru. See, you can add guests. This is the standard settings that we set up a bit earlier. As I told you, you are able to change the settings from one invite to another. So you can decide, yeah, okay, for this specific event, I want people to invite other people. Okay, it's not going to impact your standard settings. Okay. This little star that you can see next to the name means something. So it can mean different things. It means that they cannot access that calendar. So several reasons. Maybe because they don't use Google Calendar. For example, if you are sending an invitation to someone that is not part of your domain, that is not part of ecole.com, or if you do not have permission to access the calendars. This is something that maybe because Daniel Ebru and Abdullah changed the standard settings and decided that no one can access the calendar, for example. This is something possible. Okay, okay, see, the resources in Turkish. So if you want to book a room, this is where you go. You click here and then you can just, search for a room or resource. Here you can see that no rooms are available, unfortunately, but you could include all the rooms. And you can see that right now, for this time, for the 25th of January from 10 to noon, you can see that this room and this room are booked already, unfortunately. So something interesting is that when you want to invite 1, 2, 3 people to a meeting, you can access the calendar. Not right now because we decided that they don't want to, but you could. If you click on find the time, sorry, you could see per day what other people are actually doing. So you can see that, well, here we only have access to training one calendar. But you can see that here now you have this little box in gray that is shining. This is where you want to set up your invitation. You can see that here, training one is already having something planned from midnight to 1:30. So maybe it's not a good idea. It's not a good example because these people decided not to share the calendar. But you could see, other people calendars next to each other, so you could see who's available and who's not. Something that is interesting too, you don't have this option here because again they decided not to share the calendar. Let's add something else, for example. No, not her. It's obvious. I don't know. I'm just trying. Okay, this person good. That didn't change. Okay. Okay, so you can see, okay, that this person is out of the domain and you cannot access the calendar, so you have this little star. But this person, Ahmed, agreed to share the calendar. So, up. If you go back to find the time, here in purple, you can see Ahmed's calendar details. You can see that, well, he's busy from 8 to 10, so he's available from 10 to noon, so you can add it to invitation. It's not a problem. All right, this is the first option. The second option is actually to use the system that is so smart. This is useful when you invite 1 people, 2 people, 3 people. But when you start to invite 25 people, 30 people, the system is going to suggest a time for you. If you click here below the guest list, suggested times, click, and then it's going to indicate the list of all sorry, I couldn't find the word. All times that people are actually available, or every single one in the list that actually allowed you to see the calendar. So you can see that on on the 25th of January, everybody is available at 2 p.m., at 3 p.m., at 10 p.m. on the 26th of January, for example. Okay, maybe not going to send an invitation on on Saturday. But yeah, so you see that here, up, everybody is available here. This is very, very useful too. But it means that, I mean, you need to have access to other people's calendar. Okay. So I'm going to remove Ahmed from the list. I don't want to spam this guy. Up. So once you set up your invitation, you just click on save, and then you will have a little pop-up. Okay, do you want to send invitation to Google Calendar guests? Do not send. Clearly just send it, because if you invite people but they are not aware, well, it's not very useful, right? I'm going to send it. Okay, the system recognized that Devoteam Cloud is outside your domain. Are you sure you want to invite them? Invite external guests. Okay, so now you can see that we have our event here, training from 3 to 4, almost 5, on the 11 bis Quai Saint-Bernard, blah, blah, blah. If you click up, you have all your details. So you can see the title, the time, date, the address. You see here, it's a link. So if you click here, it's going to open the map. How useful is that? Seriously. Love it. You have the Hangouts details here. So all you need to do is to click here, up, and it's going to open up là. It's in Polish. Great. You have the list of guests. You can see here, you know, the little green icon. You can see who actually accepted and who refused and who said maybe. So, for example, if someone refused, you would just have a little cross in red, and if someone didn't say anything, you know, it's empty. There is no icon. For example, if I click no, oh no, I don't want to do that. Yes, you have a bin. No deleted events. I want to get back to my event, please. Yes, okay. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, okay. Do not do what I just did. If you reply no to your own event, it's going to delete it. And you won't be able to find it in your bin because you have a bin for your invitations and events. If you click on settings, here you have a bin up, and you can see all the ones that you actually deleted. Not the ones that you actually said no, but the one that you deleted. Keeping in mind that they are deleted after 30 days. So from here, you could say, yeah, okay, I want to delete it for good. I want to restore it, for example. Okay, second option to create an event. We saw the big button here. Second option, you just click. For example, I want to create an event from 10 to noon. You just click here and you scroll. Okay, and you get back to the same more options, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So on the left, you have, the main panel, the left panel, sorry, that you can hide or show. You have an overview of the month. You have here all the calendars that you created. These are your calendars. You can decide to mask them or to hide them. For example, I want to see events from training 2, so I can see all my events here. Click. Okay. I want to see the tasks, for example. Okay, there is a test from Thursday to Friday. Book a room on Friday. Sorry, this is a task. Up. And below, if I scroll down a bit, I can see all the calendars. So again, these are the calendars that other people shared with me. Something that is useful, I think, is that you can change the color. For example, I want to change the color of training up to another color. I just, go on, I don't click, I just go on the line, and then I have these three buttons, right? And I click, and then I have this little panel. And I can show the color. I can decide that, yeah, okay, I want to select cherry blossom. Nice. So everything is now in this nice pink, reddish color. And you could do that for other people. And it's not going to impact the color of their own agenda. For example, if Andre on their own decided that his calendar is in blue, if me I decide to put it in yellow, it's not going to impact his calendar. No worries. You can decide, obviously, to show it or not. You could just add a calendar, like this. For example, I want to add the calendar of Daniel up. Daniel didn't grant me access, so I could say, yeah, okay, hey, could you please grant me access? He's going to be like, yeah, who's this person? I don't want to grant access to you. But yeah, you could just, add people, and then you will be able to see the calendars here. Okay. Okay, let's see if we have any questions about calendar. Calendar. Okay, no questions about calendar. No questions anymore on Gmail. No comments. Okay, great. Cool. Okay, we have 15 minutes left. What do we still have to do? We still need to see Hangouts, chat, and Meet. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I think that it's good. Okay, if you click on the launcher here, just like a bit earlier, you will have access to chat, Meet, and if you scroll down a bit, Hangouts. So you could be like, hey, why do we have 3 different apps for chat and the video conference tool? Because these tools are very specific. They're very specific. The chat app is to chat with people within your domain. So what is a chat? Obviously, it's an instant messaging tool. You will be able to select people, create groups of people, and send direct messages, but only within your domain, only with people at ecall.com. What is the Meet tool? Meet is going to allow you to create video conferences, just like what we saw in the calendar. We saw in the calendar that you can create an invite, a Meet that is linked to an event, but you could just, create a video conferences without creating an event. This is totally possible. We will see that a bit later. Something that is cool is that you can create a video conference with anyone. It doesn't matter if this person is part of your domain, if this person is not part of your domain, anyone can access it. So it's good, for example, if you have to do interviews for a job or whatsoever. And Hangouts is actually a tool, an app that is including the chat, Meet, but is also open to anyone outside the company. So something that to keep in mind, I've been told this morning by one of my colleagues actually, is that Hangouts, we knew that Hangouts is about to disappear. This is why we actually created 2 specific and distinct tools. And it's going to disappear in April. So we're just going to talk about it very briefly. But just keep in mind that in 3 months, you won't be able to use that one. Okay. So let's start with chats. If you click on chats, it's in Polish. It's in Polish. It's in Polish. I don't want Polish. I don't speak Polish. Email. How do I change that? Ah la la. This is what happens when we are several people working with the same account. I just want to change the language. Oh my god. I'm going to try this with my own chats. Okay. Settings. Okay, so you cannot change the language directly in the chat app, but when you change the language somewhere, it's going to impact all the other apps. So let's try to change it here, for example. Let's refresh that one. It always takes a bit of time. Okay, I'm going to show that from here. Okay, so this is a chat, the chat app. So you can see on your left all your contacts. This is people that are added manually, but you can find people by just typing here. I can see that I text a lot. Alexandre, Grace, Jeanne, Emily. You could create a group message, for example, here, and then you could just add, someone like I could add Grace, Alex. I don't know, Jeanne, for example, and you could just send a global message and send message. It's going to create a group of people, right? So it's very easy. You just type your message, blah 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 blah. You can activate or deactivate the history if you want your message to disappear within 24 hours. You could decide to send a file with this option, upload a file. You select your file and then you send them. I'm going to cancel that. You could send a Google Drive file, which is very useful. It's going to allow you to share directly with them. I'm going to cancel that too. You can start here a video meeting. So it's going to redirect you to the Meet tool. You can add emoji. You can see here your own status. You can snooze notifications for 1 hour, 2 hours. You can change your settings. If you want to receive desktop notifications on your mobile, for example, you could decide to mute all the notifications on your computer, but you receive all the notifications on your mobile. For example, if you're like me and you have a mobile, professional mobile. So yeah, I mean, the tool is pretty straightforward. You can see here that you have a mobile app, if you have a professional mobile phone. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think. But just keep in mind that it's only for people within your own domain. So for you, it's going to be only open to people at ecole.com. Goodbye, Polish chat. The Meet tool, okay. So if you open, it's all in Polish. Okay, you know what? Let's translate this. Oh, it's French. I don't want French. Let's put it in English. Okay, great. Okay, so if this is the first time, meet.google.com is going to ask you if you want to share, if you want to use your mic and your camera. Obviously, you need to allow it. Okay, so you can join a meeting that you have set up already here. So all you would have to do is to click here. Okay, so you can see, hey, hello, that you have, the possibility to join the meeting. You can block here your camera. Camera is not off. Up. You could switch it off, the mic, switch on. Something that we highly recommend is to pay attention to where you are actually putting, this. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this, okay? Just pay attention to that. Something that is also very useful is that when you will enter a meeting that is, you have several people in the same room and you are all joining the same meeting, don't forget to actually deactivate the microphone. Why? Because it's going to make this horrible noise like "ee." It's going to be a nightmare. Just don't forget to switch this off. Let's put it like this. You could just start a new meeting, on the road like this. Start a new meeting. I join, loading, up again. Don't forget to do this before you enter a meeting. And then you have here the link that you can copy and paste, and then you can start a meeting. Okay, so what we can do, you can just add people here. So I can, just add Ebru, Daniel, Yasmin, just have to click to invite people. I'm going to switch this off because I don't like to see my face. Here you can just decide to, copy this and just post it, in a chat box, in an email. You can send it by your phone with your phone. And anyone with this link will be able to actually access the meeting and join you. So here on the right, you can see how many people are actually part of the meeting. So you can see that at the moment it's only me, one people. You can, you have a little chat box. Just pay attention that if you type something here, everybody will see it. It's not like a private chat room. Just pay attention to that. I know some people like to, to troll, to type stupid things, but everybody can see it. So just pay attention. You can add people from here too. Something great is that you can actually share your screen. So if I do this now, I'm not going to do that because it's going to be a nightmare, but I will be able to share my screen with you. Something interesting is that it's not because I am sharing my screen that means that nobody else can share their own screen. If I share my screen, that someone is like, yeah, okay, I want to share my screen, I don't need to cancel the sharing so that someone else can share. This person just can move on and share the screen. You have some settings here. If you want to, sorry, if you want to change the camera, the mic, the speakers, if you want to lower the quality. Yeah, something that is important, is that if you can see that you have some problems to hear the person in front of you, you can switch off your camera. It's going to allow more access, or let's say to ready for the sound. Okay, something important to know is that you are technically limited to 25 people in a meeting. When I say people, I mean points. For example, if you have one meeting room and you access a meet with one meeting room, and in the room you have 10 people, well, it's considered as one person. I'm just saying because this is a question that I get a lot. Okay, someone just sent a chat. But able to connect to meeting via desks. Yes, correct. This is totally correct. Everything that I show you, Gmail, contacts, calendar, Meet, Hangouts, chat, you have the equivalent apps on your phone. All you need to do is to actually download them. You go on the Play Store, you download the app, and you start it. And just like you can access, the details of your calendar from your phone, you could also access Meet from your phone. So you don't need to be you don't need a computer to access a Meet. This is something very important. You can actually access a Meet video conference from any mobile device. So this is correct. You can access from your computer, from your laptop, but also from your mobile phone. You are not limited. You don't need to be in a room with other people. For example, if you're in a train and you have internet access, you can access the meeting, which is very cool. Okay, up. let's consider this as done. Thanks, Amin, for the reminder. Okay. And it's the same for chat. You can access all your chats from your mobile phone. This is what I have on my professional mobile phone. I have the mobile app, and I can access all the chats, the same chats that I have on my computer. Okay. A quick note. Okay, let's close that one. Something important. It's not because, for example, let's imagine you have 5 people in this meeting, and I am the one who actually created the meeting, right? It's not because I leave the conversation, but it means that everything shut down for everybody. Let's say that it's just like you're in a meeting room with 5 people and you just cross the door, but the meeting goes on without you. It's exactly the same thing. So if I leave the conversation here, but if we had other people, the conversation would go on with other people. I leave the conversation. So you have the opportunity to join again, thanks to the link. Return to the main screen. Okay. Just for your information, because okay, the app is going to disappear in a few months, but Hangouts. Okay, let's translate that. Let's translate in English, because you don't care about the French. English, Espanol. Oh. Translates. Okay. So this is like your app where you will have, in one space, your chat, the call tool, the message tool, the video conference tool. Again, that is open to everybody. It's a bit like Skype, basically. So yeah, I mean, I showed you already about Chat and Meet, so it's basically the same. Again, you can download the app on Android, iOS device, and you will be able to access, all the conversations, all the relations, and make phone calls directly from your mobile phone from Hangouts. Okay. Let's see if we have questions about up. Okay, no questions here. All right, I think that we are done. Up. Okay. Well, we are done. Thank you for joining. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for asking good questions. I'm going to obviously stop the broadcasting. So the link is going to be active for anyone who wants to, watch it again because they missed something or whatsoever. So no worries if you missed the beginning or if you didn't understand something whatsoever, you can go back to it. I'm going to forward you the training support in English with the basics of what we said today. So yes, and thank you for attending, and I wish you a good day, and see you soon. Bye.